After months of silence in the YNW Melly case, we have finally gotten an update. The last YNW Melly case update we heard was paperwork being released revealing YNW Melly no longer facing the penalty within his case, as reports were released of very sloppy paperwork done by the prosecution and the feds, and it resulted in the penalty being dropped for YNW Melly. Then also really good reports of defenses coming out from YNW Melly's side with his lawyers, as YNW Melly's mother wrote on Instagram previously, and I quote, "The penalty has officially been removed from YNW Melly's case. Thank you, Jesus. Hashtag Free Melly 2022. And at that time, the trial was supposed to be beginning very soon, as the courtroom started seeing defenses from YNW Melly's side and lawyers. Just as 100K Track, otherwise known as YNW Melly's manager, said in an interview with DJ Academics, where he stated this.
He built a real great solid team away from just being innocent, because he wouldn't do such a crime. He prepared himself and got a proper, defense. Their job is to handle themselves in trial, not on social media. You guys are taking it that way. If they say they got DNA in a car, I'm just gonna tell you, Melly DNA was found in the car. You're gonna think, yeah, his DNA was found in the car the day of the. Oh, he jumped in a car and his DNA was in the car. He did it, okay? But you're not gonna put the fact that this was his car for 6-7 months on those documents and dockets and just automatically be like, yo, he's fried. You don't even know what the defense is. You don't even know what the rebuttal is. You don't even know why that situation occurred. You hear ballistics flying. You don't know what the defense is. You hear this, you hear that. You get what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be honest.
Now this leads us to where we are today. YNW Melly's court hearing on Wednesday just revealed the penalty is now back on the table against YNW Melly. When the penalty was originally off of the table, it was because YNW Melly's lawyers were allegedly given a chance to prove why Melly doesn't deserve something that severe. Sadly, recent events have alleged changed that decision in the courtroom, as the penalty is now back on the table. Things were looking great for YNW Melly until he arrived back to the county jail after his second recent court hearing just a few months ago. After the court hearing, YNW Melly was being transported back to his county jail. Sources claim that inmates from YNW Melly's cell block was awaiting his arrival back to his jail cell. Once YNW Melly arrived and was escorted back to his cell, an altercation then occurred between YNW Melly and another inmate named Rico Reckless. YNW Melly's official Twitter account put out a statement saying, and I quote, "To all my loved ones and close friends, I wanted to let everyone know that my phone privileges have been revoked and I'm no longer allowed to call or have video visitation. That is the reason why no one has received any calls from me. But do not worry, I am in great spirits." As we then saw reports being released of, and I quote, YNW Melly being placed in solitary confinement after getting into an altercation inside of jail with another rapper named Rico Reckless from Chicago, Illinois. They are both awaiting their trials to begin. Now, there's been nothing to confirm on why YNW Melly's trials keep getting delayed, but many sources claim this is the reason why. YNW Melly inside of jail has allegedly always been a problem with newer inmates. This resulting now to his lawyers trying everything possible to have the rapper released. And this is what led to the biggest turning point in YNW Melly's trial so far. As on September 30th, news outlets were starting to report, and I quote, YNW Melly is being accused of teaming up with one of his lawyers to plot a prison escape. As the Broward County Jail, where YNW Melly is currently locked up, did an interview with Complex where they mentioned in court, and I quote, on April 11th, 2022, Broward Sheriff's Office received a confidential tip regarding inmates Nicholas Lewis and Jamal Demons, both housed in the same unit at the main jail, planning a prison escape from jail by having Demons' attorney bring in 2 handcuff keys in order to aid the escape. Additional information provided by the source was that Lewis had many illegal items in jail as well as narcotics that were not prescribed to him. Now the statement continues by saying, jail authorities searched Lewis's jail cell after the tip, which came from another inmate. They found multiple illegal items and narcotics for which he did not have a prescription. YNW Melly, aka Jamal Demons' cell, was also searched, but nothing was found except food from the commissary and an excessive amount of jail-issued clothing. Now this all started from once again inside of YNW Melly's cell block, where another inmate on the inside informed the county jail that YNW Melly and this inmate named Lewis were up to many shady things, as he allegedly overheard YNW Melly and Lewis mentioning a plan to escape from the jail by using handcuff keys provided by Melly's lawyer, which is not surprising, as I mentioned earlier, people in YNW Melly's cell block just do not seem to like the Florida rapper. YNW Melly's mother even reacted to this in this clip.
Okay, so I'm at work and I just seen this crazy story. First of all, this is just another tactic for them to try to literally just tarnish my son's character and everything. They do not want him having attorney visits in person, which will cause for ineffective counsel. So we went to court for that. And they took his phone calls and they have him locked down. They had no evidence whatsoever that his attorneys did anything wrong to prove these accusations, but they knew it would get picked up by the media. So when we get ready to pick a jury, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, it's gonna be, oh, this kid tried to escape. Oh, this kid tried to do all these things. This is all fake because they do not have a case.
As YNW Melly's mom mentioned, this is a tactic that the prosecutors are using to have YNW Melly look bad to the jury, as allegedly the prosecutors are trying every angle to make sure YNW Melly doesn't look good in the courtroom and has a lot of evidence against him. And it's almost seeming as if this is definitely working, as during YNW Melly's emergency court hearing the other week, this gave everyone an idea on how guilty YNW Melly looks in the room. The court hearing started as YNW Melly's lawyers in court have been pushing the judge and demanding the Florida rapper's release. Now this is due to YNW Melly requesting to leave jail immediately to treat an abscess in his teeth due to his permanent diamond grill. It was reported that YNW Melly is unable to properly clean his teeth and allegedly does not have access to a regular toothbrush or even dental floss. Now, as the title states, YNW Melly's case looks much worse. This is exactly why. Something as simple as a dentist appointment for a couple hours was denied, and this was all due to the prosecution bringing up a new hard-hitting piece of evidence against the Florida rapper, as they announced a new court order stating, ordered and adjudged that defendant's motion to suppress evidence obtained by T-Mobile warrant is hereby denied. Now, around a year ago, YNW Melly's lawyers originally filed a motion asking the judge to make all evidence on YNW Melly provided from T-Mobile unusable in the courtroom. The evidence provided law enforcement from T-Mobile is massive in this case and could honestly be the final piece the feds need to lock up YNW Melly for life. I was able to go through the court files of the YNW Melly case and I found the T-Mobile evidence. As the T-Mobile evidence states, these particular cell phones, which were both iPhone 10s, were on the T-Mobile network. And so T-Mobile has a very interesting feature where it will tell you the environment this cell phone is in. So from these cell phone records, I can tell you the exact moment Demons got out of the car and staged the drive-by location. Also on YNW Melly's cell phone was a video found in his camera roll. As the evidence report states, then also we have a video of Mr. Demons admitting to doing an act towards 2 individuals in the head. This video was on Mr. Demons' cell phone, which was brought to my office by Jameson Francis. That's how we had that, and that is all of the evidence that Your Honor has. Now this then led into probably the most important piece of evidence that was found. As reported by Even Complex, they stated this new piece of evidence. There is one Instagram exchange that took place just hours after the passings, which was obtained by Complex via a public records request. In it, YNW Melly's Instagram account says, "I did that," in one message, followed 2 minutes later by another message saying, "Shh." Now the timing of these Instagram DMs will be used by the state to make the case that those messages amount to an admission of YNW Melly's guilt. Now, a few messages later, the man YNW Melly was speaking with then messages Melly again. He says, and I quote, "Hey, there's a Sig 9 on the market," where YNW Melly then replies, and I quote, "I want it." Now, those list of Instagram DMs to this mystery man was actually sent to him only a few hours after the passings of Sack Chaser and Juvie, which is definitely the most concerning of it all, as he literally said, "I did that" in one message. Now, it's been District Trending. Leave a like if you are a YNW Melly fan. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. It's been District Trending, and I'm out. Peace.